I did skip the last few merge tactics updates, but it was because they were very small, like one of them was just Echo Sage. This update, however, I believe will change the game forever, and I don't say that lightly. We have a new ruler, which is to be expected, but also there's a bunch of new troops like Boss Bandit, Firecracker, Magic Archer, and more. In addition to the fact that troops will only have one synergy each. And if that didn't convince you, there is a brand new feature called Ruler Quests. So let's dive deep into it, shall we? So first off, ruler quests are a mini task that you can optimize towards during the actual match. For example, the king has this quest where he should lose 2, then 3, then 4 rounds in one game. After the first loss, nothing happens except for the progress counter increasing. When I lose the second round, I get a special quest orb, and this time it had 5 free elixir, which is very useful. Now some other orbs like the blue one contains equipments like the Maiden's Shield, which you can just put on any troop you want. And some of them contain a random regular troop. As you can see, I got a giant here. What's interesting is that I got a pink orb and it had an equipment, which leads me to believing that the color is tied to the rarity of the drop, not the type of thing you get from it. This yellow one has to be a legendary orb and a 3-star Mega Knight. That is quite the drop, I would say. Also worth mentioning that he is a part of a new synergy called Boss, and those Boss troops are orb exclusive, so you will not find them in the shop while playing. In order, all the ruler quests are losing 2, 3, and 4 rounds as Royal King, merging 3, 15 and 50 troops in a single game as the Spirit Empress, get 3, 10 and 25 goblins from the Goblin trait or the Goblin's Queen ability. And by the way, the Goblin Queen now as a ruler counts towards the Goblin synergy, since like you can count 5 troops here, but when you look at the Goblin synergy, it's a 6 out of 6 because the Queen herself counts. Win 2, then 3, then 5 rounds in a row with Lung. I think this one is hard, you gotta do it early game. For Battle Machine, you need to kill 2, then 8, then 20 troops using his building. I find this one odd because the elixir pump doesn't really kill, so you'd be screwed if you start with one. Echo Sage requires knocking out 2, then 6, then 18 troops in one game, though only troops killed by the Sage itself count. As you can see, I won the round, but only 1 kill counted instead of both troops counting. Dagger Duchess is winning 1, then 2, then 4 rounds in less than 8 seconds, so get into speedrunning. Ground Warden gets an orb by giving 3, then 10, then 25 shields to troops. Tomb Queen gains progress by spawning 10, then 25, then 80 troops in one game. Troops spawned from stuff like Witch, Skeleton King, etc. counts towards this, so play some spawners if you're using Tomb Queen. Oh, where are my manners? Meet Tomb Queen, the newest ruler in Merge Tactics. When you select the Tomb Queen, you will start with a fancy tombstone at the beginning of the game. And just like any building, you can move it in the first round, but you cannot bench it. When the first round starts, it's stuck in that tile for good and you can't move it anymore. What this tombstone does is spawn a skeleton every few seconds. I mean, nothing crazy, but it's free. The stars on your tombstone will increase based on the numbers of overall skeletons you spawn throughout the whole match. If they break the tombstone itself, the Tomb Queen will leave her spot and jump into the fight to take revenge. What's interesting is that if the tombstone was the last standing unit, you will lose the game even though it didn't break. So while putting the tombstone all the way in the back feels like a good play to farm skeletons for your ruler quest and cost free troops free value, putting it somewhere half safe but also not fully safe is the play to ensure you get your Tomb Queen on the board every single round. Fun fact, the tombstone has an undead synergy. Very important to know. For skins, there is Fury Queen, which is a red recolor and likely a free one to obtain, and Noir Queen. The start of the animation is low-key too long, I don't know what to say here, but I mean, it's a cool skin. And Mummy Queen, this one is sick, probably the coolest merge skin overall, though I do expect it to be paid. Might buy it, I don't know. If you do, use code Abdod. Boss Bandit is a 5 elixir troop, and the way she works is similar to Clash Royale. Every few hits, she will teleport back to be able to dash again. I noticed that placing her in the back is the best practice to be able to get a dash at the start of the game. Magic Archer is a 3 elixir range troop, and he works almost exactly like regular archers until his super bar is full, and then his arrows will chain like an E-drag from Clash Royale. Firecracker is a 2 elixir unit that also shoots regular projectiles, and when her super bar is full, she shoots a piercing one and gets pushed back. Where is the pushback? I swear it says right here. weird, that's probably bugged or something. Goblin Cage is a 4 elixir troop, and he starts in a cage and breaks free when the cage is destroyed. Although the special thing about him is that he is orb exclusive along with some other troops. I'll explain. Giant is the orb exclusive clan character. Royal Giant is the orb exclusive royal character. And for undead, their orb exclusive is skeleton dragons. The goblins have the goblin cage like I mentioned earlier, and the exclusive orb character for forest is baby dragon. The way this exclusivity works is that these troops aren't in the shop rotation until you get one of them. Once I get one giant, all 4 of them will be exclusively held out for me in the shop, meaning other players can never find them. Same goes for Royal Giant. Basically, the moment I get one from a ruler quest, then it will show up for me in the shop. And this includes boss troops, as when I got a pickup from an orb, it started showing up in the shop rotation. Regarding new synergies, there is just one, and it's the forest, and what it does is make troops invisible for 1.5 seconds every few seconds, and the effect from it should not be underestimated. Now I have a special guest, and it's Retake, a top merge player and a content creator, and I brought him here to answer some of my questions because honestly, I don't really play the game mode anymore.
Alright, what's up Abdod fans? My bad if I look a bit sweaty, I just came back from the gym, but basically, Abdod asked me to answer 3 questions about the brand new merge tactics update, so let's get into those questions.
How do you think the ruler quests are going to impact the game, especially at top level?
So I think the ruler quests definitely add a lot more depth into the game, because if you think about it, now you have 3 unique quests per ruler that you have to accomplish within the, 5 minutes that a game lasts just to get an advantage. So you really need to micromanage a lot more things with this update. And I think that it definitely adds a lot more complexity, though I do think that Merge Tactics is still an extremely simple game. I think it's a step in the right direction because I think the game needs to be more complicated. I think to be more enjoyable to most people, because I feel like most people just find the game a lot too simple, to really enjoy.
What are your thoughts on troops having one synergy each, and how do you think it would impact building comps both positively and negatively?
So I don't actually know if I agree with their decision to make each troop only have one trait, just because I feel like right now, given that each troop, has 2 traits, I feel like it makes comp building really flexible because you can mix and match a lot of troops. But now, if they make each troop only have 1 trait, now you have to use these specific troops if you want to make a comp with these specific traits. So I feel like it's very limiting. So I personally don't like it, but I guess time will tell.
Is there anything you wish I would have asked you?
I think that one thing I want to comment on is that whether you like the update or not, because I feel like this update changes a lot of things. So whether you agree with some of these changes or not, like for example, I disagree with the 1 synergy per trait change. I would say this update is definitely just good overall because 1, it shows that the team is putting in a lot of effort into these updates, because the last few updates kind of seemed like a bit lazy. Like there's only 1 ruler, after 7 weeks of work, or only they didn't add any new cards. So I think this is definitely brings back hope into the game, I guess you can say. And then the second one is I think this is a step in the right direction, as I mentioned earlier, just for the game, because they're adding in more stuff, making it more complicated, which I think is good for the game. I don't really want the game to be very simple and just RNG based. So that's going to be it for my segment. Enjoy the rest of the video. I know Abdod's going to cook up a masterpiece, an absolute cinema as always. And yeah, I'll see you guys.
Thanks for your input, Retake. There is no rest of the video, however, balance changes are out and I covered them on my second channel. You can find the video on the top left. Just a heads up, it's a second channel video, so it won't be heavily edited like the main channel ones, my dudes.